Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. This video is a bit of a video and photo dump of the last week or so don't think that all of the contents of this video happened in one 24-hour period. That would be pretty impressive. I just wanted to share this real life update of what my house looked like after I believe it was after my daughter's birthday weekend. My oldest daughter turned 16, and holy moly, my house was in utter disarray after that weekend. And it had nothing really to do with her or her friends that came over for one afternoon and evening. I had just let things fall behind because I was focusing on creating a special evening for her and her friends. And it was indeed. This was my closet. Our master closet tends to be a catch-all, like a gigantic junk drawer for when we are tidying for company coming over. Everything just gets shoved into our closet, particularly because our bedroom and bathroom is the only bedroom downstairs. And so this is the after. Ta-da! Feels so much better in there. But our bedroom is the only one downstairs, and so it's nice to have an extra bathroom to offer guests if needed. I have been wanting to share this cleaner with you for some time. I have been using Force of Nature for almost 10 years. You will never, ever find me promoting products and materialism on this channel. I may recommend a book, but books are pretty inexpensive. I will not be displaying clothes for you or a freeze dryer, although I would love to have one day. That is a massive investment. We have purchased over half of our cars for cheaper than it costs to buy a freeze dryer. Anyways, I've had multiple people over all of my videos ask me what is in the spray bottle that I use. Force of Nature is such a unique natural cleaner. It is actually so pure, you can spray a baby's pacifier with it and immediately put it back in its baby's mouth. It is just salt water and vinegar that you pour into this little machine, and electrolysis converts it into this cleaner called hypochloric acid. It has the faintest smell of bleach, but not really. I mean, it would be irritating if it actually smelled like bleach. It doesn't. It's hard to explain. But anyways, I absolutely love it. You can clean glass with it. It is equally as effective as bleach. I like to spray it on my cutting boards after I have cut meat on it. Even after I've washed it or run it through the dishwasher, I'll spray my cutting boards with Force of Nature and let it air dry, just because it gives me extra peace of mind knowing that every last little germ has been killed. I clean glass, mirrors, toilets, tubs, any sealed surfaces. You can mop with it. You can clean granite and stone with it. It's amazing. Well, I reached out to them and asked if I could have a coupon code. And so I've got a link for you, and following my link in the description box will get you 40% off any starter bundle. This could easily be the only cleaner that I purchase. It is not the only cleaner I purchase, but it definitely could be if I wanted it to be and if I wanted to save money. It is about $25 for a box of refills. Like anytime you want to buy the refill capsules, I go through about 2 bottles a week. But one refill that you mix up in the machine lasts for 2 weeks if you don't end up going through it really fast like I do. So I think it is 100% worth it. Let me know if you have any questions. You can read up more on it on their website if you're interested, but I absolutely love it. It's my favorite cleaner I have ever used. Now here I am actually finished sewing up this dress now, but what I did was I found this dress at Kohl's. Somebody asked about it in my last video where I wore it. I got it at Kohl's and I absolutely love it. It kind of looks like linen, but it's just 100% cotton, I believe. And it has pockets. It's super comfy. It has good full length short sleeves. And I just sewed up the buttons around the chest area and like just down around your rib cage, because I found that even though the dress fits nice and loose, it was pulling open at the buttons just because of the nature of how thick the fabric is. And I actually wore it to church when I had nursery, and I kept feeling a little paranoid, like, oh, my buttons keep spreading a little bit. So I just sewed those up because I'm not going to be unbuttoning them anyways. All right, this is a peek into my greenhouse. This was actually probably 2 weeks ago when I was still having to bring peppers and tomatoes in and out of the kitchen and the greenhouse every single day because temperatures were dropping into the 30s still at night. At this point, I don't even know what today is. April 8th? Yes, eclipse day. At this point, I have actually planted out about half of my garden already. So I am super excited to give you an updated tour on all of the outside stuff that will be coming later this week. And here I am just cleaning up my kitchen. I think this was again after Eliana's birthday weekend. And I decided to finally, here it was at the end of March, take my holiday curtains down. They were just kind of a red plaid, and put my sunflower curtains back up. And you know what? This has been like almost 2 weeks now and nobody's noticed that I know of. Nobody has said anything. Oh, the sunflowers are back up. Oh, nothing like a clean kitchen. I also started some chicken stock in the Instant Pot you can see there. And my sweet potato slips were still on the counter and they are now safely in the ground in the garden. Laundry, the never-ending battle. I had to treat some grease stains. I am so bad about not wearing aprons when I am in the kitchen. I've got to get better about that. I think I need to get a new one because I've only got one that I like to wear right now. And oftentimes it's dirty and I don't want to put it on when it's filthy. Once I get this laundry going, I have got to get in the kitchen. So this is the evening that Eliana has friends coming over for her birthday. The only thing she asked for her 16th birthday was to have some girlfriends over to have dinner and a movie. And by dinner, she means all of her favorite finger foods. So I was going to make pigs in a blanket, which since she was little, she has called them piggies in the middle. So I was going to make piggies in the middle. And I actually had at a baby shower a couple of years ago, these amazing pigs in a blanket that the hostess had found at Costco. And I have never once found them at Costco, but they looked so simple. So it was the little smokies wrapped in puff pastry and brushed with an egg wash and then sprinkled with everything bagel seasoning. They are just next level pigs in a blanket. Really delicious. And the only thing about them is they just take a little bit of time to assemble because you really need to, you make the puff pastry go further if you roll them out nice and thin. And really, I didn't roll them out thin the very first time that I did this. And I regretted it because puff pastry puffs up so much that if you don't roll it out thinner for a food like this, it really just like busts open. And you know, for pigs in a blanket, you want them to actually be contained in the blanket, right? So this took me probably about an hour, and I went through the entire package of Little Smokies. I wish I had gotten 2 packages, but I'd only gotten 1, and I still had, goodness, like a box and a half of puff pastry left over, which was really great because that stuff's expensive. It's like $6 for 1 box, and it comes with 2 sheets, but it really went far once I cut it into squares and then rolled it out thinner and cut each square in half diagonally to make 2 triangles and then used that to wrap each Little Smoky. So I would highly recommend trying this if you want to kind of level up your pigs in a blanket next time you need to bring hors d'oeuvres or finger food somewhere. It's really simple. And then you just bake at 350 or 375 until they are just slightly golden. And the egg wash and the everything bagel seasoning just kicks it up a notch, and it's delicious. She also asked for sausage balls, which is just breakfast sausage mixed with a block of cream cheese. And then I refrigerate that mixture until I can roll it into balls and cover the little balls with crescent dough completely. So it is like this little crescent dough pocket with this delicious sausage and cream cheese mixture inside. It is my absolute favorite breakfast finger food. Anytime I have to contribute something to like a brunch, that is what I make. For her cake, she asked for white cake with chocolate filling and frosting. So I personally am of the opinion that you can hardly beat boxed cake mix. It is just so fluffy and light, and I don't know. I've always loved box cake mix. But one trick that a catering friend told me years ago, it's actually the woman who did our wedding cake and groom's cake. She actually uses box cake mix and then does her own filling and icing or frosting. But her trick is she puts the cake mix and all the, other ingredients in her stand mixer and then whips it on the highest speed for just a couple of minutes. And that adds extra air into your cake mix or the batter. And that creates extra fluffy, delicious, light cakes. So I've done that for years and years. Another thing that I do when I make layer cakes is individually wrap and freeze all of the layers before I add filling and frosting and all of that. It just makes it so much easier to work with because, as I was saying, the thing that I love about box cake mix is it is so light and fluffy, but it also can fall apart pretty easily if you are trying to work with it and decorate it when it is pretty fresh and room temperature or even warm. It's nearly impossible to work with without making it crumble or break into pieces. So I freeze it and then it defrosts and softens up in no time, but it's just right for decorating and adding filling and layers and frosting and stuff. The girls decided to watch the newest Wonka movie for their movie night, and that could not have been watched without a variety of candy at their disposal for their movie time. So I bought candy and popcorn, and that was all a big hit. We went in with one of our neighbors and split half a pig from a local farming family, and I just wanted to weigh out our bacon. Now, these were not big feeder pigs that can get up to like 700 or 800 pounds. This pig was like 250 pounds. So the final weight of meat that we got is actually like a third of the hanging weight. And then, of course, we split that with our neighbor. We ended up with 7 pounds of bacon. This was a 17-pound ham that we ended up cooking for Easter. It was delicious, absolutely delicious. And we also used the ham bone to make stock. And here I am just making a super simple dinner. I defrosted these chicken drumsticks and I'm seasoning them with homemade seasoned salt. And then I'm just going to cover them and stick them back in the fridge until I'm ready to stick them in the oven this evening for dinner. Speaking of eating, on days like this, I often forget to eat for myself. And here you can see what is left of Eliana's birthday cake. It was so good. But we also made meatballs, I call them wedding meatballs, the kind of meatballs that you often find at a wedding reception that is made with chili sauce and grape jelly that you mix up and you put in the crock pot. So good. I haven't made those in years. And there was also some leftover broccoli salad. I don't remember when I made the broccoli salad. That might have been like the next night for dinner. I don't even remember because this was such a mishmash of videos that were on my phone. And here I am updating our menu board, which I had not done in quite a while. This particular week's worth of dinners was so good. In fact, my husband was fasting for Holy Week, and I mean like completely fasting. And he came home and saw this menu board and was like, "Are you kidding me? The week that I'm fasting, you have all of this amazing food?" But he's been mostly carnivore for several months now. He wouldn't have eaten most of this anyways. But we had chicken drumsticks with rice and pinto beans. I pulled a bag of shrimp out of the freezer and we had sweet and sour shrimp, which I had never made before. I just used the same recipe that I used to make sweet and sour chicken. And then I also made homemade fried rice. It was amazing. I'm not sure I'll ever make sweet and sour chicken again. The shrimp was so good. Then we had chicken enchiladas with Mexican street corn. I haven't made Mexican street corn in years. I've made the salad version that's easy for potlucks or barbecues, but having it on the cob was so good. I never ended up making the coconut lentil curry and naan. I need to roll that over to another menu soon, just because we had a busy week and I think we ended up picking up pizza that night. We had calzones that week, and then on the weekend, we ended up having burgers and coleslaw, and that was actually Easter weekend as well. So we had a big family dinner on Easter Sunday. The last thing I wanted to share with you is this sourdough that I have finally made successfully for the first time in my life, and I will be sharing a video all by itself with that recipe in there. It is Kate's soft sourdough bread from Venison for Dinner. and I will be sharing that soon. Thanks for watching.